Hello everybody, it's Ashwee, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at some of the hottest goddesses in anime. Now, unlike a previous video where we discussed the kinds of anime nuns and their stereotypes, for this video we decided to take a much simpler approach, that is to go through the names according to bust size. Yup, you heard me. As we go further and further, the oppai size will increase. So if you're a flat guy, then congratulations, my dude, you'll get your dish served first. And if you're not a flat guy, I hope you have the patience till we get to your dish. You won't regret it. Just like you won't regret helping us with a like and a Patreon sub. I would first like to begin with a personal favorite of mine. Campione's story follows Kusanagi, who defeated the god of war in a mortal combat. Yep, you heard it right, God of War. Not our God of War Kratos, but another one who is also kinda badass. After defeating him, Kusanagi became Campione, aka Godslayer, whose duty is to fight gods whenever they try to muscle on the local turf. One of these gods is Athena, the goddess of wisdom in Greek mythology. Again, this Athena is not like the backstabbing BH Athena from the game. This Athena has a very cold personality, with no interest in anything but reclaiming her lost power. I know, it kinda sounds like the god of war Athena, but trust me, this lolly is way better. She appears like a little girl due to being incomplete, thus she seeks the Gorgonian to herself in order to regain her full power and be complete. Campione is a highly recommended show. It has 12 episodes with a pretty good dub. You won't regret adding it to your list. Just make sure to watch it while no one's around. Moving up on the bosom scale, Holo from Spice and Wolf. Holo is the wise wolf of Yoitz. She has a lovely figure with long flowing hair as well as wolf ears and a beautiful dark brown tail with a splash of white at the end. Despite being smart, cunning, charming, and self-sufficient, she feels very lonely and sometimes shows a more fragile side of herself due to her isolation for hundreds of years. Holo has a peculiar way of speaking. She speaks formally. She's fond of delicious food, likes fruits, especially apples, and loves alcohol, often drinking when having the chance to do so. Holo takes pride in her tail and takes special care of it, constantly combing and maintaining it. Kinda feels like I'm preparing you for a date with this information. Now, after looking at multiple angles to determine which goddess had the bigger assets, Ishtar came on top of Holo, a goddess of beauty, good harvest, and war from Mesopotamian mythology. Ishtar has a high and mighty attitude and is rather prideful. She's very spoiled and loves flattery of her strength. On top of that, she demands respect and also compensation for her protection of others. Even though she's smart, she is impulsive, not caring about any havoc she causes or problems that happen to others. In other words, she's an OP Aqua. And if you think I'm over-exaggerating, then hear me out. A. She uses a tsundere as a vessel. B. She's a thought. C. Which confirms B. She is cocky. Watch this and tell me I'm wrong.
さすが藤丸。片や植物と腐敗の女神、片や美と豊穣の女神。美しさの勝負なら100人中1000人が私を選ぶに決まってるわよね。
Last but not least, Ishtar sees men as slaves for her pleasure, which in turn helps me not feel bad objectifying this fictional character. And here's where it becomes hard. The choosing, not another thing, you filthy people. Granted, we are doing a not-so-clean list. Anywho, we have Eris and Ukasan, both with completely different personalities from each other. Eris, from Saint Seiya Jashin Eris, evil goddess Eris, and Ukasan, from Inari, Konkon Koi Iroha. Hope you write down those anime titles because I am not repeating that. While Eris is a real temptation and a troublemaker who likes to get what she wants and doesn't mind using others to that end, Uka-sama is a kind, down-to-earth sweet woman. Despite her being a god, she's not arrogant at all. In a matter of fact, she's an otaku and usually can be found playing games in her room. All in all, Uka-san is totally waifu material. Unlike Eris, don't let her beautiful face fool its way to your waifu list. That goddess is a snake. Ah, and we get to the most useless and the most famous goddess on the list, the one and only Aqua. Aqua descends from the realm of Konosuba, God's blessing on this wonderful world. Except poor Kazuma's soul. Aqua is the goddess of water, whose role is to guide young dead people to the new world. She is high-spirited, cheerful, and carefree, but rarely thinks about the consequences of her actions, and has a tendency of being very short-sighted, which turns stuff for the worse. However, not all is bad, as one of Aqua's positive personality traits is her honesty. She is incapable of lying, or more precisely, she has no concepts of lying, and she's so bad at it that her lies give themselves away. Honestly, it was tough for me to put her above Uka-san, as Uka Melon seemed bigger at some point, but because of her heavy wear, I just couldn't be sure. Hence, Aqua is above. Also, what she lacks in melon size, she makes up for with the mini skirt. Now we get to two hot goddesses from the same show, Belle Dandy and Urudo from A Megami-sama, or in English, Oh My Goddess. Is it just me, or does the English title sound a bit simple? Either way, it couldn't fit more perfectly because these two goddesses are just something else. Take Belle Dandy for example. She's a highly skilled goddess who can fly, teleport through mirrors, sense people's emotions as auras, heal minor wounds, and speak to animals. But what makes her really charming is her kind heart. This sweetheart is so kind-hearted to the point she thinks reading the cover of a magazine without buying it is very bad. Her graciousness is what puts her apart from all the goddesses on the list. Also, she won a swimsuit contest. On the other hand, her half-sister Urudo gets her charm from her childish and mischievous act. After all, she's a child of a goddess and a demon, which makes her a powerful hybrid. But deep down, she is a very good person and would do anything for her family. Urudo likes to call herself the goddess of love, and with a body like that and knockers like her, she sure deserves the title. Another goddess from a personal favorite show of mine, Bishamon from Noragami. Bishamon, the goddess of combat, is unbelievably beautiful, but don't let that fool you. She cracks her whip like a pro. And although she is a goddess of combat, she is a loving goddess who doesn't mind accepting any person to her family. Only guy she doesn't stand is the MC himself, Yato. But as the episodes go on, she begins to tolerate him. P.S. This S&M wearing, whip cracking, heaven rocking goddess once shared one of the cutest indirect drunk kisses in anime history with the show's main man, and you can find it in the OVAs. Yes, lollies with big opie do exist, and it's in the form of Hestia from Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? The 4-7-foot goddess is a kind and energetic goddess. She dreams of being in a relationship with the main boy Belle, and sees the other girls around him as her love rivals. Hestia is a hard worker, working 2 jobs just to pay off her debt for the Hestia knife, which she gave to Belle. That said, she also has somewhat of a lazy side. All in all, this 140-centimeter goddess is a highly likable deity. Also, a fellow goddess from the same show, Demeter. Demeter is a hot friend of Hestia. In Greek mythology, Demeter is the goddess of agriculture and the harvest. This 5'4" goddess, or, for the folks who use the metric system, 162-centimeter goddess, is a good-natured goddess that acts mature when talking to others, whether they may be gods or their children. Demeter is on good terms with other gods like Hestia. although she likes to test it by teasing others as shown when she hugged Belle in front of the Opie Lolly. Demeter can be aware of the hidden motives of others, such as when she noticed a fellow god acting sus from his expression during the god's banquet. And our last goddess on the list is Mi from Jungle de Iko. Now before we talk about the character, here's some background about the show. This 1997 3-episode OVA show talks about a preteen schoolgirl who embarks on a series of fan service-filled magical girl adventures with a little creature who might be evil, as well as a shy girl with mysterious powers. Now, with the plot overview out of the way, Mi is a goddess of matriarchy and reproduction. The more powerful she gets, the bigger her melons become. Her gigantic opie are said to represent and contain Earth's life-giving energy. Also, her already humongous melons grow larger as she increases in maternal strength. Mi's other powers include, but not limit to, becoming a giant, reflecting projectiles off her chest or absorbing them into her cleavage, extreme muscular strength, which is natural since it prevents her back from getting or tipping over forward because of her enormous melons. So, do you see, ladies and gentlemen? There was no competition when it came to the #1 rank. Hope you stuck with us till this point. If you didn't like this video, then oof, you're a tough crowd to please. Nonetheless, we always try to keep improving, and as such, we find ourselves once again asking for your support over on Patreon. The link will be in the description. Other than that, leave a like, share this highly researched video, comment your thoughts, and subscribe. Until next time.